Selamat datang ke Sembang Chillex Kejuruteraan bersama IEM. This is Sembang Chillex podcast at which we pick a few of the IEM management and ask them about what they do in IEM. Today, we are fortunate to have Professor Dr. Nurlida, who is our IEM President, the very first woman president since the inception of IEM in 1959. So a lot of the questions that we are going to talk about today actually comes from the same questions that we issued in the December Jurutera magazine. So pick it up, one of these Jurutera magazines, December 2022 issue, and you will be able to see all of almost the same kind of questions. We probe a little bit more on the questions.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Prof. Nurlida, for being with us.
Thank you for interviewing me.
How do you find being the IEM president? It is almost a year now that you have been. So, how do you feel first?
Well, exciting, of course, and actually, what I'm very happy about it is give me actually a lot of chance to actually support the engineering fraternity and open up a lot of doors for me to be able to move forward in engineering in terms of doing CSR. And as IEM, we've always been here and we have always been for engineers and to help engineer grow both technically and in the welfare aspects of it. So we are here as a family, and being here many times in a week now that I am the president, and it opens up to me what IEM has done, and I hope that IEM will always do since what was the date again?
1959.
That's right, 1959, and we are now 64 years old.
Yes. This is the IEM President office located over in Bangunan Engineers over in Petaling Jaya. So back to the question that we're, being the first woman president, we say, wow, the first woman president of IEM.
Yeah.
But putting that aside,
okay,
how do you set yourself apart from the previous president that we have in IEM?
Okay, so maybe as a woman we are also focused forward, like men do. But women are men, they are very broad focused. Women are also focused, but we tend to break things up in chunks and we work within segments. We try to achieve things bit by bit and one by one, and in the end we will achieve all, hopefully. But the thing is, I think men and women, we work differently, and hopefully you probably see it. And of course, sometimes women are a little bit more detailed than men in certain aspects. So hopefully I'm bringing that little bit into IEM right now.
Certainly, I think I do agree with you. When working with you, I find that you are very detailed and critical. Every single part of it, you know what is going on. And I think that is the hard part about being a president, because you need to know everything. How do you cope with that?
Well, I have people like you actually, and I have a lot of members, especially secretariat, who really give their time to IEM, and that is why IEM is growing and IEM can achieve things. I mean, look at you, for example. You spend a lot of time in IEM, and before I am a president, of course I spend a few days in IEM in a week. Well, not as in the whole day, but maybe 1 hour or 2 hours. It's always there. It's always in the back of our mind, and it's something that is fulfilling if you're looking at not only working for money, but working to make things better for the world. And for us, it is for our fraternity and for our country.
Yeah, I think part of being with IEM is that you give your time voluntarily. It's not something that we carved out our names over in industry, that's given, but then the time that we actually take to actually do the work over here, that's
that is a lot of time.
Exactly.
But it is fulfilling. I mean, when you see some of the things that you initiate and it works out, it comes true, and it helps a lot of people. So it's it's time well spent. I mean, you could, of course, you can spend it on hobbies, which I also have, but you need to actually balance hobbies and doing something that will actually create more knowledge within where you work. And for us, it's in engineering, and that this new knowledge or new things that you develop can be enjoyed by a lot of people. And for me right now, I'm an academician, and also IEM is now taking more steps in STEM. Not that IEM has not, but we are spending a little bit more time because I am from an academic, and we have a lot of people who are spending time on STEM. And of course, you did something about technologists and technicians, helping people to understand what it is. And hopefully with that, we attract more people into engineering who are the backbone of the development of our nation.
It is actually quite interesting. Things that we are focusing right now, especially going to the public and trying to meet them halfway. We are in engineering, and there's also the public. One of the ways is Sembang Chillex that we are doing right now. We are trying to reach out to the public out there to let them know this is what engineering does.
Yes. And I think what you're doing is correct. I mean, when you go to schools, I sometimes go to secondary schools. They know engineer. The word engineer seems exciting, but they don't actually know what an engineer do. Especially women engineers. I mean, what do engineers do? They don't really know. And the fun part of it, they don't know. They only know the scary part of it. Scary as in mathematics is required, physics is required. So hopefully, we will bring in more interesting things with your Sembang Chillex, and hopefully when you evolve more, we will show them. We go off to the places where engineers work and see how exciting it is actually. And it's not that difficult once you're there.
Yeah, I think we also take this opportunity, being the first woman engineer in IEM. OGMTD and Women Engineering section also is collaborating and coming up with the women in oil and gas industry. How they, the women engineers that have worked hard and also has been up there. So we will feature them in those talk series.
That's great. But don't forget, it's not only engineers, it's also the technicians and also the technologists. These are all within the engineering fraternity. And IEM welcomes all three types, the engineers, the technologists, and the technician. You are all part of our family.
Talking about that, can you elaborate a little bit more for our audiences over there? What do you have in store in the near future for the engineering technician as well as engineering technologist?
IEM has gone to IEA, the International Engineering Alliance, and we are going to be similar to the engineers, where we will be recognized, we will be accredited by IEA, so that our technologists and our technicians will be recognized in all the countries that are also accredited by IEA. So they will be studying from programs from the Sydney Accord and the Dublin Accord, and then they can register with us and be part of the agreements for technologists and technicians, and automatically you will be mobile in the countries that are signatories to the IEA. So we open up the world, we open up ASEAN, we start off with ASEAN. The world is getting smaller. We have our neighbors, Indonesia, bringing the capital closer to us. All the jobs there, the technologists, technicians, all the factories coming out in Kalimantan. The Thais are bringing some of their work south towards us. So the world is getting smaller, which means we can move further. And with the right recognition and accreditation for the technologists and technicians, there you go.
Yeah, I think the world of virtual actually put everything closer to us, the
Exactly.
global world closer to us. Talking about that, your focus of your presidency is actually the sustainability and inclusion. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, of course, sustainability here is the world. Well, just now we said the world is getting smaller, but also the resources are getting more limited. Now, we have resources that are sustainable, resources that will last forever: energy, water, wind. But we are now still using fuel, as in from the coal and also from the petroleum. Those are not sustainable. So let us create a world, or us ourselves, turning more towards sustainable energy, so that we leave something for the world in the future that is more green, less polluted, and the word now is going for zero carbon.
Yes.
Yeah, we should go to
Carbon neutral.
Carbon neutral, all those big words. But let's not just say the words.
Exactly.
Let us live the words.
Exactly.
Yeah? I mean, look at us. We have Sabah, Sarawak. We have so much water. We have, all those. Look at, you step out of the house, oh my God, it is so hot because of the solar. But what are we doing with it? Where are all the solar panels on our houses? Where are all the solar lights in our gardens? It's not there. I wonder why. And we need to push that. Why don't we have lightings in our house of the little solar lights, rather than switching on our lights at home?
Yeah.
From 7 p.m. until 7 a.m. to light up our garden. Just put a pole with the lights.
Yeah. Something like sustainable, meaning like something that we can actually make use again and again and again.
Correct.
That's make more sense, right?
And of course, we are now trying to use. We're not trying to use these plastic straws, or we are being more innovative of using paper and straws.
I don't like the paper straw.
Yeah, because you are cutting more trees. So and also it becomes soft, right? And then you put it in the water.
Well, we can just like drink it like this,
That's true. But I don't like the steel straws because I think that it's dirty inside.
Yeah.
Those really metal. And I say, oh my God.
But you can use.
I know.
There is a
something to
tool
clean
that
it. I know.
you use.
As you say, I just rather sip it from the mug. I rather sip it from the mug.
Okay. In terms of the inclusion, what are your plans for that?
Well, I have until 2024, and of course, I still would like to continue to make engineering attractive to the young, and that hopefully we make engineers a little bit more prominent. We seem to have lost a little bit of this, in the past. When you hear about engineers, wow, you're an engineer. Now the wow factor has been a little bit lost, maybe because we are not paid so well, and maybe because our job scope has sort of moved a little bit less, in the sense that last time you really require engineers. We need to build the roads to connect north and south. We need to build the tracks for the train, the water, the electricity, the airports. But now we are looking at more. We need to be connected. So there are other professions that are gaining more prominence. Things like the computer scientists, those who write the AI. But look, we are still there, and we are still just as important as we are. But we are not getting the promotion or the advertisement that we are there. I mean, actually, when you go to the hospitals, wow, the doctors can do all these things, but you forgot how the doctors can do it. It is the engineers that created those little cameras that can go into your body. It is the engineers that created those little knives that you can cut.
Engineering in medical line.
Correct.
Yes.
But the engineers in the medical line did not get anything.
But
the users are getting more recognition. I would hope that both parties get recognized. I mean, the doctors can't work as well if we didn't get the tools. But it's always just the doctors that is getting recognized. I'm not saying that, Sorry, doctors. Look after me when I'm sick, But there should be some aspect that do recognize that the engineers is everywhere. Another thing is, we only just mentioned about engineers in the medical field, but now that we are going towards less food and all that, in our countries, and we want to be develop enough food, grow enough food. So that is where agriculture and engineers should marry. how to harvest easily, how to fertilize easily, how to monitor our crops. Those are things that engineers can do, and where we are left so far behind. So maybe there's another ways that we should push.
One of the things that Sembang Chillex will be doing as well is a topic on Dulu Saya Engineer. We are talking to the engineers who basically found some other passion in life.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I think it's great, and that is what we teach our people in engineering. Yeah, what you learn in your 4 years in an engineering degree program actually gets you prepared to be more than an engineer.
Exactly.
Exactly. And that is why you see so many CEOs in the top 50 companies are mostly engineers.
Exactly.
Because engineers make decisions based on data and based on facts. And that is needed in all professions.
And we were talking to CEOs as well in the Dulu Saya Engineer CEO series.
Yeah. And you can ask them, and I'm sure they will tell you the training of an engineer, the discipline of an engineer,
the thought process.
Yeah, the thought process, making a decision only based on extra. So I was never unhappy when engineers become something else, because they are actually using what they have learned as an engineer to excel or to do things in another profession or in another development. And look, engineers are everywhere because of our training. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for all of the answers. But there's one last question that we usually will ask all our panelists. If you had unlimited resources in terms of financial resources, what would you want to achieve for IEM?
Wow, there's so many things that I would like to achieve for IEM. And of course, one thing is I would like to have a division that have unlimited money, where we can actually approach schools. Yeah, not quite at the primary level, but not quite at the university level, but in the middle, where we can get the students to have a different attitude to knowledge. And that when you are at school, you are learning knowledge to develop yourself and not just the paperwork, and to actually get them to feel the love for the knowledge and to apply the knowledge. I think that is what is lacking in this country.
I think so. I do agree with you. That's also the reason why we are doing the Sembang Chillex Dulu Saya Engineer, because what we wanted to portray is that engineering education actually teaches individuals to survive out there and to find the passion in their life.
And that is why engineers are resilient creatures.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if they lose their job or something, they can always move on to something if there is no other ways of working within engineers, because the economy is so bad. But they will be able to create something that they can sustain themselves. Hopefully we don't need to do that, because we want our country to grow. Yeah, but the thing is, what is lacking now is the way the young is taught. That to me, we need to get the students that when they go to school, it's actually to learn and to make yourself grow and develop. But unfortunately, there's quite a lot of people who actually go to school or universities, where I'm in school, just actually to get their paper, and they don't really grow. You can see sometimes that students don't actually want to learn. Now you can see that sometimes they thought that after they go to school they are fine, but that is wrong. I mean, you can see a lot of engineers or a lot of successful people, the first year, the second year, okay, I've learned enough, and I can you see the HP, and you see our Microsoft guy, second year, first year, okay, I've learned what I need to learn. I've learned how to take knowledge. I've learned how to apply knowledge. And they drop out at second year and so forth, because in the first 2 years they really learn what a person needs to learn. Because even if you finish the 4 years in your university but you don't really learn how to make yourself better, you will never be clever. It is not, going to class is not only what is in the class, but what is in the class should teach you how to gain more knowledge, to expand the knowledge that you have. And that is what is lacking.
Thank you so much, Prof. Norida. That's the only time that we actually have. hopefully we can talk further
Yes,
on these
yeah.
issues. I think there's a lot of things that our audiences would like to know more about you as well.
Okay.
So we'll find more time to do
Yeah.
that. So thank you so much for joining us in this episode. We'll talk again in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you very much.